Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. Today, once again, is Friday, so we have our Friday weekly update. XUR has returned, as well as Trials of Osiris, with a very interesting map this week. So I'm going to give you a rundown on those two things, as well as all the other farms, glitches, cheeses that you can use heading into the weekend, if you haven't had a chance to play very much this week. There's also some new farming methods that I think will be helpful for a lot of solo players. A couple of glitches that I think will also be helpful as well. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the bell, the post notifications, so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Any of those things I just mentioned also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. We're getting very close to 89,000 subs, so appreciate everybody so much for that. Also, though I don't encourage necessarily having to do this, but there is the tip option on the video, and one tip might be worth thousands of views in some cases. So if you do enjoy this content and feel obliged to possibly leave a tip, I will thank you very, very much. And of course, you will also be entered into the next giveaway several times for that. You can also leave a comment down below on any of the topics of discussion in today's video. If you're looking for any more added information, also please remember to leave a comment. Those will also give you another entry into the next giveaway. You can also leave a hashtag tinnitusbat or a hashtag SSJ Scoot in the comment section down below. My buddy's joining me in the tower this Friday. Big shout out to them. Or you can stick around till the end of the video for the secret hashtag you can leave in the comment section for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. And remember, those secret hashtags stack between all videos. So if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course do it again. Today, XUR is selling the Graviton Lance Catalyst. Definitely pick it up if you don't have it. It makes this weapon absolutely god tier. It actually adds Vorpal to this weapon, which already has a really good AoE effect on it, but Vorpal extends that AoE effect quite indefinitely. And Vorpal's been one of those broken perks for quite a while, where even if you have any other ability or any other weapon that has a dot effect on it, you can switch to a different weapon with Vorpal on it as a perk, and it'll actually increase the damage over time effects of any ability or any other weapon. And in this case, it does both for the exact same weapon. So super meta, great in PvP and PvE especially, but honestly very decent in PvP as well. So for you novice PvP players, also worth the pickup. We have the Rat King Catalyst, which I've heard is good. Now again, maybe the third time in rotation over the course of this Exoitc's life that it's actually been good. It's been bad, it's been good again. I would suggest picking it up, but if I had to pick between the two, I think the Graviton Lance is definitely the most needed by a larger majority of players for just general activities and endgame content. Rat King is a little bit more specialized, but certainly an interesting Exoitc nonetheless. Good for DPS. We have the Oathkeeper for the Hunter class with a 67 roll, very high roll overall, and a decent stat distribution, very uniform across the board. Bow charges can be held indefinitely for increased damage. I think this could be a good DPS go-to Exoitc. I'm not sure how it functions in the meta at the moment for Hunters, because there's a lot of good Hunter Exotics, but certainly a good roll overall. And we have the Insurmountable Skullfort for the Titan class with a 63 roll, high mobility, high strength. Arc melee kills grant health and melee energy. I actually like this Exoitc, though I don't like this roll very much, so maybe consider skipping it, of course, unless you don't have it. We have the Astrocythe Verse for the Warlock with a 70 roll, which is absolutely insane. That's one away from the maximum that you can get on any Exoitc roll. I actually think this might be the highest Exoitc roll that XUR can bring on a random piece of armor. And what I mean by that is you can get Exotics from exotic Engrams to drop at 71 total stats. That's 71 total base stats. But from XUR, that's limited a little bit. So 70 is actually, I think, the highest you can possibly get from one of the 3 class exotics sold weekly. So unfortunately, mobility somewhat lost on the Warlock, but it does improve Blink. So this is a primarily PvP exotic. And because of that, in this case, mobility actually does help in PvP. It actually makes it harder to hit you because when you're strafing, you're not sprinting, it increases your non-sprint movement speed. So that's the thing about mobility, at least how it currently applies. All these things will be changed, of course, come the summer DLC. But as it stands currently, mobility only improves your non-sprint movement speed. In the case of PvP, though, that actually can be an advantage because it makes you much more difficult to hit when you're strafing. At least it's always worked that way for me. So I would actually consider, if you're looking for a very good, and I'm talking top tier exotic for a Warlock for PvP, pick up the Eververse this week. We also have exotic class items available to farm out this week. These will also be changing, I think. The perk rolls on them and the perk options will be changing come the summer DLC, the Edge of Fate. But good to farm out this week. Remember, all you need is strange coins. And if you have access to the actual exotic class items, you will be able to get as many random rolls on them by purchasing them with strange coins from XUR over the course of the weekend as you want. So you can just buy as many as you want and get random rolls on them. Of course, you need to have access to them, so you would have needed to either have completed the Dual Destiny mission, or you would have had to have gotten one during Festival of the Lost last year during the fall. I guess it was the seasonal event. Those were the only 2 ways you can actually get exotic class items. But if you're looking to farm out the most exotic class items this week, or over this weekend, you're going to need as many strange coins as possible. So make sure that you have the Favor of the Nine buff active. You can stack this over 3 weeks, up to 3 times. And once you stack it 3 times, you will be able to get a lot of strange coins even from the easiest activities. The easiest activity is to select the Devil's Lair Strike from the directory menu in the Cosmodrome. So instead of going to the Vanguard playlist, just go to the Cosmodrome, select the Devil's Lair Strike, and if you have this buff stacked 3 times, even if you only have it stacked once, that's still going to be probably the easiest farm. But if you have it stacked 3 times, it's going to be by far the best farm. You will get 7 strange coins every 3 minutes or so, because the Devil's Lair Strike is really easy to run, especially if you're in a group. Or if you're a solo player, you'll still get matched up with people if you're running that strike. We have 5 enhancement cores, or excuse me, enhancement prisms for 31 strange coins. That's a really steep price for enhancement prisms. There's much better ways to get them. We have 3 enhancement cores for 5 strange coins. That's not bad. 13 enhancement cores for 17 strange coins. I really don't know why they keep such high prices on enhancement cores. There's actually really easy ways to farm out enhancement cores. If you would like to know the best ways to farm out enhancement cores, let me know in the comments section down below. I'll also give you another entry into the next giveaway. We have 29,000 Glimmer for 7 strange coins. I'm going to pick it up, even though everybody's going to troll me in the comments saying, why are you doing that? It's because it's easy. That's why. We have 57,000 Glimmer for 11 strange coins, and then we have 2 Nightfall ciphers for Adept weapons for 97 strange coins. It's very steep, but Nightfall ciphers are only available through the GM completion difficulty of Nightfall, so if you don't have a chance to get these otherwise, these might be your only opportunity to actually buy them, and they don't come around that often, so definitely worth picking up. Remember, if you have to spend 1 strange coin at a time, you can use the strange gift offers, get things like raid banners, sometimes blue armor, unfortunately, but sometimes good armor. Also remember, you can get red border and enhanced weapons from the strange Engrams if you're looking to craft anything. A lot of this is going to be changing, including Adept weapons are going away, apparently, in the Edge of Fate. Not to say that they won't still be relevant, the ones you currently have, but they will not be available anymore. The new tier set of weapons and armor will be the go-to for what you want to use in in-game content. So basically, Adepts are just getting replaced with something equally as good, but a tier 5 piece, tier 5 weapon come the Edge of Fate is probably going to be better than a fully enhanced Adept weapon currently. This week's Hawkmoon has a snapshot sight, which is really good, and texture grip. This is a GODROLL PvP Hawkmoon. If you don't have one, I've been singing its praises now for about a month, as ever since I took this out of retirement and decided to try it in some PvP, I thought it was amazing. And I don't use hand cannons that often, because playing on a controller on a console or on a PC, when you get matched up against people who are playing on mouse and keyboard, or just hunters in general, because I play on a warlock, it is very hard to use a hand cannon. The time to kill has just never been good enough, and the range is never good enough. You always kind of need to really sit at range and play a little bit more methodical on a warlock. But this, with Blink, was actually really, really amazing, even if you don't have the Catalyst. But if you do have the Catalyst, whew, next level. And this is by far the best roll that I've seen in at least 3 weeks. We have Monte Carlo, we have the Risk Runner, and we have the Prospector. Xur needs to stop bringing this weapon. He's brought this weapon way too much, in my opinion. It's one of the least worth it grenade launchers, in my opinion, or just exotics in general. There's so many legendary grenade launchers that are so much better than this one, but for some reason we keep getting it. Risk Runner is good, depending on what you're doing, but it does have a good AoE effect. I do think there are legendaries that have actually displaced this exotic's place in PvE meta at the moment, but still worth picking up if you don't have it. Monte Carlo, I think, is good, especially for Titans, but if I had to pick of these 4 exotics this week, I would definitely pick up the Hawkmoon. On legendary weapons, we have a True Prophecy with Field Prep Demolitionist. We have a Valpecula with Outlaw and Adagio. We have the First In, Last Out Shotgun with Pulse Monitor and Opening Shot. Soul Survivor with Outlaw and Vorpal Weapon again. We have the Interference 6 with Thermoplastic Grenades, Field Prep, and Threat Detector. Memory Interdect with Clown Cartridge and Elemental Capacitor. And then for the Warlocks, we have an Eternity's Edge with Infinite Guard, Relentless Strike. Remember, you have to pick up this sword if you want to use it on a Warlock, but you can then equip it to any other class. So you can use it on a Titan and a Hunter, but you have to pick it up on the Warlock. Same thing for the Crown Splitter and the Quick Fang on the Hunter and on the Titan. You can use them on any class now, but you have to buy them from Xur on those specific classes, as they were originally intended to only be used on those classes. But because of that glitch that happened at the beginning of this season, now anybody can use them. I think the Crown Splitter had a decent roll. I don't know if I would necessarily pick this one up, but for legendary armor, we have the Hold Fast armor set this weekend. The Warlock armor is not terrible. This is a very decent helmet if you're looking for a good legendary piece of non-enhanced armor. As, again, all of this stuff is going to be changing come this summer. It's DLC, so might not be that relevant to have the Artifice armor anymore. But also remember, over on your second page, you have your Exotic Cipher quest if you're looking to turn any of your exotics essentially into Artifice armor. But again, with so much stuff changing with armor and weapons come the summer DLC, I think a lot of people are probably going to skip on that. But that was a decent piece of armor if you were looking for it on the Warlock for the helmet. Hunters and Titans also had one decent piece. I believe it was the boots, perhaps, on the... It was a boots and chest piece. I can't remember if it was the Hunter or Titan that had one of each. But all the armor rolls were generally in the mid-60s, so you just have to look for the stat distribution you want at that point. Over at Banshee 44 for today and for the foreseeable future, I don't really know exactly when he resets anymore. I think it might be bi-daily. I'm still trying to figure it out. But we have the Nox Perennial with Fragile Focus Wellspring, the Enigma, which can be crafted with Feeding Frenzy Thresh. Just see what the haft on this one is. Nothing to write home about. We have the Threaded Needle with Killing Wind Multi-Kill Clip, Elastatic Principle with Zen Moment, Harmony, and Head Rush. This can be crafted. Semotician with Keep Away, Danger Zone also can be crafted. And then we have the Hollow Denial with Adapted Munitions, Dragonfly also can be crafted. I feel like those were the same rolls that they were the other day. You can also let me know in the comment section down below, of course, for another entry, if anything that I mispronounced over the course of this video. I'm sure there's going to be something, as these weapons are just sometimes too much. Over at Commander Zavala, if you haven't had a chance to play any of the Nightfalls or GM Nightfalls this week, we have the Rake Angle and the Cruel Mercy available as the featured weapon. Remember, you can get the Adept versions if you can complete the GM Nightfall, and you will guarantee an Adept version if you can complete it with a Platinum score. Over at the Eververse store this week, another very interesting exotic available, which I did talk about earlier in the week, but reiterate, the Cleaver weapon ornament for the Lament is certainly one of my favorites that I've seen in a while. Has very much a Silent Hill Pyramid Head vibe. Somebody said in my comments of my last video, wouldn't it be cool if they had a Pyramid Head helmet? I'm like, oh yeah, that would be super cool. Let me know in the comments if you would be down for a Pyramid Head helmet. I was never actually a huge Silent Hill fan, but that character was just always, well, it haunts your dreams once you see it. And I do love a giant sword. Also, it's of course a Final Fantasy VII Cloud Sword-esque. You know, big swords, always fun. Gotta love the anime vibe. But pick that up if you're looking for a decent one. Oh, one more thing before I actually run off. And I will just mention this for most videos now moving forward, as it is sort of a unique thing. If you're looking for the Eerie armor set, remember you can buy it for 6,000 Bright Dust. You don't have to spend the 1,500 silver. And fret not, the best Bright Dust farming video is on the way. I've not forgotten about it. So any of you who have asked and are curious about the best ways to farm out some Bright Dust, believe me, I will get to it possibly over the course of this weekend. Very interesting Trials map, as I said, this week. It is the Twilight Gap. That has not been the, I think it's been, I don't think it's been the Trials map for like a year, maybe? A while. Let me know in the comments if you know exactly when the last time, but it's certainly a rare Trials map for sure. So have fun on that. It's going to be, I think, good for sniping as well as for close range combat, as there's kind of a bit of both. We have the yesterday's question, Adept, as the featured weapon again this weekend, and something interesting happened last weekend. This was originally the featured weapon on Friday, and then when I went to check again the next day, it was the Exalted Truth. So I don't know, maybe it was they just got their lines mixed up over there at Bungie, but remember you can get both of these, the Inquisitor as well now. So we'll see if this remains the Adept. I don't think it's going to change again, but who knows. Sometimes weird stuff happens. So yesterday's question, I do like this hand cannon. It's one of those burst round hand cannons. I think they're very forgiving, especially if you play on a controller. So pick it up. I know the Inquisitor is also a very sought after weapon for PvP. I'm going to finish up the video today. We'll just make our rounds around the directory really quick. Over on the Eternity, of course, we have the Prophecy for the very first time as Rite of the Nine to farm out. Some of the best weapons I think are available, at least as far as the Rite of the Nine total weapons from all the different dungeons are concerned. I think the Prophecy has some of the best ones. I really love the Pulse Rifle as well as the hand cannon. The best farm is still to do the skip glitch for the first encounter and get to the first boss encounter really fast and then just, you know, farm the boss. I think you can, or I don't think, excuse me, that you can farm out the second encounter on the second difficulties. So if you want to get a extra chest and extra boss, if you play the Eternity or Ultimatum difficulties, the area where you would normally take out the Blights, that's the area after the first boss encounter, where you're just basically in the big field of sand. There now actually is a boss at the end of that, which does award a chest, very much like the middle boss was in Ghost of the Deep, which we were farming out using the checkpoint glitch, where you could just reset the checkpoint. I think that they have prevented that with this particular one, as I could not get the checkpoint to reset to right before the Blight encounter. But if you can, please let me know in the comments section down below, as that would probably be the best farm. But currently, as it stands, or as I know, it is to just do the first boss encounter by skipping the first encounter area, jumping right to the platform where you fight the first boss. So doing that through the tunnel. If you'd like to know more about that, there's at least 1 or 2 videos on my channel about it. You can actually check out my last video, as there's a clip of me doing it there, but I could also give you a tutorial if it's very much needed. Let me know in the comments section down below. Shout out to all my buddies who joined me today in the tower. We got Real Dez as well. You can leave a hashtag Real Dez. We also have Convertor. You can leave a hashtag Converter in the comments section down below for other entries into the next giveaway, or you can leave a hashtag XUR, or a hashtag Trials of Osiris, or a hashtag Year of Prophecy, or a hashtag Edge of Fate in the comments section down below, or hashtag Rite of the Nine, of course, for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. And that's going to complete all the information for today. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend, as always. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.